For the first time in a while, I'm not in the building studio. This is Badlands National Park. Took more or less an impromptu trip out here. About 6.5 hours to get here. We'll be driving back tonight as well. But it's beautiful. And in some ways, this is my treat for surviving Vin Week and Iron Builder. Earlier this week, I had 2 packages arrive with some emergency parts that I talked about earlier that I would need to make some of these models happen. Now, I hardly had any Dark Azure parts going into this challenge, and of course the saddle is in that color, so it helps a lot to have some pieces to attach to that are the same color. So the first thing I did when I opened that package was I went straight to Bricklink and just started buying a bunch of these random Dark Azure parts. I had no idea what I was going to use them for at the time, but I knew that I would probably need them, and I did end up using a whole ton of them, especially on these later models. Another thing that I wanted was a different saddle color, and so I got medium blue saddles as well, and I was actually able to incorporate them into this build here. And let me talk about the builds that I made this last week. So it's nowhere near as much as I did during Vin Week. Vin Week just forced me to make a model every day, but for these last ones I could take a little bit more time, and thankfully I was able to actually get some days off and travel, go on a little vacation, which was super fun. So this is actually a Vin Week model here. This is from the Jaws of Defeat, where we were challenged to make a recognizable Star Wars scene in a classic Lego theme. What I've done is the trash compactor escape with aquanauts, so obviously they are underwater, about to be consumed by a giant sea monster. For the next build, it was this simple fence scene. Presentation was going to be big on this one. Obviously, the saddle piece is a very three-dimensional object, so capturing the scene with a longer camera lens allowed me to accomplish a more 2D looking feel, which is perfect for this simple fence. And I was able to use some of those weirder Dark Azure pieces that I got in the orders previous. I wanted my last build to be something really special. I think I'll revisit this one in a future video, dealing with how I constructed this scene, and specifically the photograph, because photographing, not just in a contest like this, but in any Lego building scenario, any mock building scenario, is so important. I mean, what's the point of creating something if you can't share it? And photography is so important to that process. So I wanted this one to be special. I wanted to use a lot of the saddle. I wanted it to be a really gorgeous and unique image. And of course, all the while, Kit is still battling it out here, and he came up with some really epic builds toward the end. Of course, my favorite has to be his final build, Closed for Business, which is very much a play on my opening build, and it's so clever and fun. This one made me smile a lot. At the time of recording, and probably at the time of uploading this video, a winner has not yet been determined, and I don't know when we'll actually find out. But it has been a tremendous amount of fun, stressful though it was. I'm so glad I got to compete against Kit and put together some builds that no matter what happens at the end of the day, I can still be very proud of. So I'll keep you posted on what happens next. Thank you everyone for your patience while this happened. I'm certainly feeling a little bit behind on Cheesy Studios content. The studio is going to get a good cleaning after this. There are still parts everywhere. Everything's unsorted, but I'm hoping to get some new tables, some new shelves, and so that's going to be my next big project. Thank you for all who supported and joined along in this journey. If you want to be the first to see the results of the contest, I encourage you to go to iron.builders and check out the Discord link included there. That's where all the action takes place. You can read our witty puns that we've gone back and forth on over the past 2 weeks. But yeah, thank you as always so much for taking the time to watch this. Have a great life, and see you later.